Okay, so when you are weeding directly from your mat, there's a few things you need to do first. First of all, you want to make sure that you cut your vinyl to the exact size that you need it. Don't leave any extra vinyl on your mat or you're going to waste it. So I've cut mine down to the size of the design I was weeding. It's actually 7 little phrases that I'm going to be putting on some tumblers. Okay, so you want to leave it stuck to your mat just like it is. This really only works if you've got a good sticky mat. If your mat's getting used and it's got gunk all over it, this method isn't going to work very well for you. Okay, so you just pick a corner and literally lift and go. You want to go slow though, and be careful because some of your letters might still stick. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a G right here that is still stuck. So I'm going to come back and push it down and get it out. And then carry on. Okay. Now I'm getting a little uneven here, so I want to start kind of pulling from the top up here. And nope, I'm good. Everything is still going good. Just go slow. Watch every piece that you're peeling to make sure that everything is coming out the way you want it to. Some of your problems are going to be if this top piece right here folds over and starts sticking to anything up there, so be careful for that. I'm going to help some of these out a little bit by just pulling them out where like the vinyl's kind of stuck up in there, so I'm just pulling it out a little bit. Okay. Okay. These are getting a little stuck in the M's, so I'm going to pull them out a little bit. Okay, going to keep going. Some of my vinyl is tearing. Like, let me see if you can see what I'm talking about here. The T, the vinyl has torn. The G, the vinyl has torn. But it's okay because I'm not losing any letters. So I'm going to come back and weed that out in a minute. Okay, just keep going. You really, really want to watch for the dots on your eyes. Make sure you're not losing those. And watch your extra vinyl. Make sure it doesn't stick to any of this design down here. If it does, if your top vinyl sticks to this before you weed it, you're going to lose your whole design. So just be careful, go slow, and watch what you're doing. Okay, that's all off. I don't think I lost anything. I went slow. I was checking as I went, and it looks to be all there. The only little problem that I had was this G up here that got a little hung, but I saved it. I'm just going to replace it back down in its spot. And now, once you've done your big weed, you're going to come back and get all of your smaller parts. Oops. And I like to get the same, like I'm going to want to put all the middle of the O's on one because it helps if you can stick the vinyl to the previous one. They just pull out a lot easier, and then I come back and put it on my fingers. Now I'll go get these O's. If they stick to the previous vinyl, they just come out real quick and easy. Getting that first one on there is a little hard though. Whoop, they're just popping everywhere. The same thing with your little letters. Get that vinyl off of there. Come and get all of these little A's. And you can see once I get one stuck to my weeding tool, the rest of them just stick really easy because the sticky vinyl is pulling it up for me. Get these bees. And I just put the extra on my finger. Some people put it on the top of their hand. The one thing you don't want to do is try to throw this away as you're going. It's going to majorly slow you down and it's going to get really annoying. Get the D's here. Alright, so that's basically the gist of it. Once I'm done getting all my little parts out, I'll pull this whole thing off and that weed will be done. Okay, so today we're going to talk about weeding using the bright pad. I love this guy. This thing is one of the best investments I've ever made. I don't always use it, but for things like this I do. So here's this piece of glitter vinyl. Let me move it up closer. I'm not even sure that you can tell anything is cut on it, but there is. I have cut my name in this vinyl. And as I look at it here, I mean, maybe if I hold it just right, I can see the cut lines, but there's no way I can weed it like that. So, turn my bright pad on, and you can adjust the brightness on this. You can put it way down, you can bring it way up. I like it kind of in a mid-range. But I can see the cut lines perfectly now. Let me hold it up. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to see what I can see through there, but I can see there's the C, R, there's my Y, comes down here, S, T, A, and my L is over here. I can see these cut lines perfectly because I have my bright pad. So now, as I'm going, I can just start lifting and pulling my vinyl, and I can already tell that my C is stuck because I can see where that line is. So I can just push it back down. This vinyl is super, super sticky. I don't know if you guys use this. It's also super awesome, so I love it. Okay, so you can see that I'm getting the C to come out of there now. But this little piece right here, if I didn't have my bright pad, I would have ripped that off because I wouldn't have seen it. There's my center of my C. And I'm going to kind of help it along a little and trace the cut path with my tool just to help it come off. Okay, same thing, my R is sticking, but I could see it, so I was able to pull it. Tracing my path. This thing is amazing. I can just see every line. I know that I'm not missing a thing. I'm not losing any little pieces of my vinyl. Okay. I wish you guys could see exactly what I'm seeing. This font is so super skinny that it's also really easy to tear. I'm going to cut this excess off so that I can show you what I'm looking at, what I'm working with. Okay, so here's my Y. This piece of vinyl is super thin. Super duper thin, and it started to tear a little bit, but because I could see it with my bright pad, I was able to save it from ripping. Okay, I'm just going to speed this process up so that you're not watching me weed this whole thing, and then I will show you when we're all done what it looks like. I want to stop here and tell you I just flipped this upside down because when you're dealing with really sticky, tricky vinyl like this, it's easier to pull your vinyl from a thinner point. So my T right here, I have a thinner section than if I was just going to start to pull from up here. Oh, you can't even see that. So I want to pull from this curved section of my T rather than from up here. Vinyl works better if you pull away from the thinnest section and pull out to the thickest section. So I turned it upside down so I can continue weeding it. Okay, so I have all of that weeded out, and apparently I didn't cut a big enough piece of vinyl, but that's okay. This was just scrap vinyl so I could show the video, but it cut off my name a little bit. Okay, so now I can go back in and I can pick up the middle of these without a single worry in the world that I am pulling my actual design. I'm going to turn my Y again and pull from the thinnest point out. It is stuck good. There we go. Get my S from the thinnest point out. And then my L. I'm going to pull it from down here because the top of it's cut off. Okay. And there we have it. It's a super skinny font in a super sticky, glittery vinyl. But because I had my bright pad, I was able to weed that out perfectly. And I know a lot of you shy away from these glittery, hard to see vinyls because you're wasting vinyl ripping your designs because you can't see your cut lines. Invest in this baby. It's awesome. I love this thing. Alright, so that's how we use the bright pad. Next we're going to do some reverse weeding and I'll show you what that is. Okay, now we're going to do reverse weeding and just your regular normal everyday type of weeding. I'm going to start with the reverse weeding. So what that is, I have this monogram here, and it's got a bunch of little circles and arrows and dots and stuff, and I want to make sure they all stay in place so that it stays a perfect circle. So this is a good project to reverse weed. When you reverse weed, you take your transfer paper, and I just used contact paper. You put it on top of the design, and you pull off the whole thing and then weed directly from the transfer tape. So, and again, this contact paper, I've used this several times before. I'm going to use it again because I can, and it saves money. Okay, so I've got it. I'm just going to put it down on my design. And then we're going to burnish it really, really well. Now, normally I wouldn't do this much burnishing, but because I'm going to weed directly from the transfer tape, I've got to make sure that every little bit of it is stuck to the transfer tape. Okay, get that other one out of the way. Now I'm going to come and pull the paper backing off of the vinyl. So just find a good corner. Sorry, I don't know if that's in camera there. Okay. And this is going to come off in just one solid piece. There's not going to be anything stuck to it. Okay, so we've gotten rid of the paper backing now. We're going to weed this directly from the transfer tape. So what you want to start with first is obviously just your big excess. I don't even need the weeding tool for this. I'm just going to start pulling my excess vinyl, and you'll notice as I go, everything is popping out. These little dots are going to come right out. Look, there they are. I'm not losing any dots. They're sticking right to my transfer tape. As I go down, the same thing. I'm not losing any dots. I'm not losing any arrows. I hope you guys can see all this. Everything is just, I mean, did you see that? That just pulled out perfectly. I didn't lose a single little dot. I'm not even paying attention to what's going on over here on this side, but again, I'm not losing any dots. I'm just going to keep working my way around. Now there is some extra vinyl up in here that I'm going to kind of pull out as I go, just working with the design. Okay, I'm going to cut my excess because it's going to start sticking to the vinyl I want to keep. And if it sticks to the vinyl that I want to keep, I'm going to lose my design. Okay. So there's excess. Oops, sorry. Bumped into the camera there. Okay, I'm going to start from down here now. Again, just pull. Okay. So you'll notice all of my little dots are there. Every single one stuck. I didn't lose any of them. All of my arrows are there. A lot of my monogram is there. I just need to come back and pull out the center pieces of it. This is where it gets a little tricky because I'm pulling off of the transfer tape, so it's sticky. I'm going to use the back of my hand to store my extra vinyl. And if I touch anything here, look, just like that, I touched it and I got the dots on my finger. So I'm just going to come put them back down. I'll get those back down in a second. You have to be careful when you're reverse weeding because you're working with everything sticky. A good idea would have been for me to come and get these inner parts first, but I was just so excited to show you how easy it was not to lose your dots that I didn't come get these insides first. Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit while I pull out the insides of this so that you're not watching me do this whole thing here. Okay, I want to stop and show you something that just happened. When you are reverse weeding, again, everything is really sticky, so you'll see that this piece right here is stuck to the tape. And I could pull it up with my fingers and keep going, but I just wanted to show you this other little tool that Cricut offers. These are the tweezers, and they're the pointed ones. Can you see that tip on that? This is perfect to scoop right underneath the vinyl, grab, and go. I love those things. I just wanted to show you that really quick. So I have the whole thing weeded now. You can see it's all there. It's on the transfer tape and it's ready to put right on the design. But I did mention earlier that I lost some of those dots. Well, I left them on my finger so that I could go back and put them back in the design. Let me get some of this excess stuff off of me. Okay. All right. Another cool Cricut tool is this straight tip. So I don't know if you can see. It's just a straight. It's used to puncture, to put a hole in something if you get an air bubble, which I also really love this for that reason. You don't even see the hole once you're done. But I like to use it for precision placement. So I'm going to come pull this off of my finger. So now I have it stuck to the tip. And I'm going to put it where it goes. Stick it right back down. Okay. Now I'm going to come get this other one. Pull it off my finger. Stick it back down where it goes. Again, if you were careful and didn't touch your design while you were weeding it, you wouldn't have to do this. And I lost one little dot up here. It happens to be under my fingernail. So again, I'm going to pick it up with my precision tip. Try not to hurt myself with that thing because that is sharp. Okay. And place it back where it goes. Just like that. That's ready to go. I can put it on whatever I want to put it on. Actually, let's see. Have an extra mason jar laying around. There we go. Your design is done. It's on there, ready to go. All done. Came off perfectly. And because, like I said, I use transfer tape over and over again, I'm going to save it. All right, now the next method is just normal, regular, everyday weeding. So I'm going to get my weeding tool right there in front of me. Okay, so this I'm going to start with the corner again. I'm going to peel it back. So I'm going to start peeling. I'm going to go very slow and careful because I'm going to start losing these dots if I'm not careful. All right. You can see right here, this dot stuck in there. So now I have to carefully poke it out with my precision tool and keep going. Slow, slow, slow. I'm losing dots again. It's okay. I'm just going to go poke them out. But this right here, these little dots, is the reason I prefer to reverse weed when I have little bitty details like that. Okay, I'm going to start cutting my excess vinyl so that it doesn't stick to anything I want to keep. Sorry guys, I keep bumping in the camera when I go put my extra vinyl on the side. Alright, losing dots again. Not sure if y'all can see this. Precision tool. These Cricut tools are great. I'm going to link to it. This tool set is amazing. I use every tool in this tool set because they're all awesome. Okay, I'm going to cut this. Yeah, don't, I used to, when I first started doing this, I thought it was so cool if I could weed the whole thing with one tool and not like cut the vinyl. I thought I was some kind of rock star. Yeah, I've learned. Don't do that. Even though it feels really cool and you feel all accomplished, you're going to lose your design. Just cut your excess as you go. Save money, save time. No need to be a rock star. No one's watching you do it anyways. Well, y'all are watching me do it, but. Okay, so there we go. I have all my dots, although I had to go back in and push some of them out because they were sticking to the vinyl. And now I need to get in here and weed the insides of these letters. This was the hard part on the reverse weed. It's the easy part on the regular weed. That's it. That one's done. And then I would put my transfer tape on top of that and apply it to my final product. So either way you go, there's pros and cons. I use all of these methods. I use reverse weeding for these little dots. I use regular weeding for like my larger designs. I use my bright pad when I'm using a glitter font, or I'm sorry, a glitter vinyl or a holographic vinyl or a shimmer vinyl that I just can't really see the cut lines. Or if I've got something really detailed and intricate like a mandala or something, I use my bright pad for that. Yeah, so there you go. All the different methods for weeding. Pick what you like best. Get all the different tools in the bright pad and use them all, just depending on the product that you're making. And there you go. We'll see you next time.